It's not mostly the same.
Okay. Alright, so quiet down. Our objective for today is we will learn how to use dimensional analysis to convert from one unit to another. Okay? Reason we're learning this because you're going to use this a lot in chemistry. Basically, you need to learn how to convert from one unit to the next. Okay? You will also be using this in physics. So you'll be using it in both chemistry and physics class in high school. If you're thinking of going into the engineering degree, you're going to be using it in college. I have a student who I had, I think, like 8 years ago. He's in college. He's studying to be an engineer. He told me he uses exactly the same thing I'm going to teach you today. I taught him 8 years ago, and he still uses it now in his college class. So it is a system to convert one unit to the next. Okay? So it's almost going to feel like a math class today. Alright? Now, what you need to make sure that you kind of think is, it is a step-by-step way of doing things. It is not the only way of doing things, because truthfully, even though your math teachers don't want to tell you this, there are several ways to find the same answer in math. Okay, you can do the same question 2 or 3 different ways and get the right answer. Okay? They usually want you to do it the way they want you to do it. But for the most part, most math problems, you can do in a variety of ways, still get you the same answer. This is just one way to do things. Okay? The reason I'm teaching you this is because eventually when you get to chemistry and you're having to convert from grams to moles, this is going to be the most efficient way to do so. Okay? Now, if we look at what dimensional analysis is, okay? Dimensional analysis is a process used to convert from one unit to another unit. Okay? And we already talked about units. Our essential question today is, why is the conversion of units important? So by the end of the period, you should know that. But we talked about units when we were doing the measurement unit. And we said, and one of our essential questions on one of those days was, why is it important to include units? Who remembers the answer to that question? Raise your hand. Why is it important to always include your units? To not just give you a naked number. Yes?
Because sometimes you're not sure it is, like for which for example, you said run 10, it would be miles or meters or
Okay. All right. Can you repeat what she just said? Why is it important to always include the units?
no.
You can't? I'm going to come back to you. Who can repeat what Brianna over there said? Of why it's important to include units? Yes, sir.
For example, because if we're going to run like meters, miles,
Okay. So can you repeat now what he said? Okay. Okay. So obviously, if I say go do 10, you're going to say 10 what? You need to know exactly what it is, right? So you have to have units. Now, you'll see that today. These units, including units, it's going to make this so much easier. Because if you include the units, and you end up with the unit you want, you know you did the question right. So if you include your units, it's going to be one way you know you did it right. Okay? So, I'm going to do a step-by-step process on how to do this. I use colors to color coordinate each step. You don't have to use colors while you're taking your notes. Okay? But I would recommend that you maybe would, because it's going to show you what step is 1, what step is 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay? I'm sorry? Yes, I use both markers and math pencils, so you might want to do that. Alright, so whenever we have dimensional analysis, obviously, we need to have a problem first. So our problem here is 138 eggs equals how many dozens? That's our problem. Now, right now, I'm pretty sure that several of you can give me the answer to this without using dimensional analysis. Okay? So, think about it. Can any one of you give me the answer to that problem? 138 eggs equals how many dozens? Yes?
14?
Nope, it's not 14. everybody in here knows how to do this problem in one way or another, yes? 11 something. 11.5, okay? Yes. So, you already know the answer to this question, right? And you're like, well, Ms. Hernandez, why do I have to do dimensional analysis when I don't need it in order to answer this question? The reason for it is because right now, everybody in this room understands that the answer is 11 and a half, right? Okay? Leva, can you tell me how you got that answer? Okay, so he did 138 divided by 12. Okay? Some of those other people that raised their hands, did you do that question differently? So most of y'all just divided by 12? Yes. Okay, so you just kind of started estimating? Okay, very good. All right, in the other class they said, oh, well, I know that 12 dozen is, and they gave me a number and said, so I've just subtracted. Okay? There's several ways to find that answer. Everybody in here, now, does everybody understand why the answer is 11 and a half? Would you have any problems doing that question? No. So, I took a very simple problem that everybody understands what the answer is, and I broke it down to the dimensional analysis steps. So you focus on the steps, not the problem. Everybody knows that the answer is 11 and a half now, right? So focus on the steps. All right? Now, step 1. You're going to write down what you know and put it over 1. So that's your first step. You're going to write down what you know and put it over 1. So from this problem, what do you know right now? Looking at the problem, what do you know?
There's 138 eggs.
There's the 138 eggs. So that's what you know. You're going to write 138 eggs, and you're going to write that over 1. If I write 138 eggs over 1, does that change this number in any way? No, right? If I do 5 over 1, isn't it 5? If I do 10 over 1, isn't it 10? Yeah, so writing it over 1 does not change it into anything different. It's just in fraction form, correct? All right, so that's step 1. Write down what you know, which we know 138 eggs, and write it over 1. Okay? Now, second step, step 2. Write down what you need. So what do I need to get to, according to this question? Dozen, right? So I have 138 eggs. I want to get to dozen. So my second step is going to be to write what I need to get to. So here I have my first step, 138 eggs over 1. I'm going to elongate the line across, divide my first section to my next section. And I'll write what I need, which is dozen. Okay? And the dozen will always go on top because we don't want any fractions. Okay, questions up to this point? Okay, step 3. Step 3 is decide which conversions you need. Look at what you have, look at what you need. So I have eggs, I need dozens. Do I have any relationship that I know for a fact between dozens and eggs? What relationship do I already know about eggs and dozens? Very good. 1 dozen equals 12 eggs. So I know that, right? So that's going to be my conversion. So I'm going to write that down. 12 eggs equals 1 dozen. I know that conversion. That's a given. Then I'm going to go to step 4. Step 4 says, what you don't want, those are your losers, goes on the bottom. What you do want, those are your winners, they go on the top. So don't winners always come on top? Doesn't that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. So, looking at 12 eggs to 1 dozen, who do I want? Who am I looking for? The dozen or the eggs? The dozen. So the 1 dozen is my winner. So I'm going to write 1 dozen at the top. And who do I not want anymore? The eggs. So 12 eggs is going to go at the bottom. So once again, here I had 138 eggs over 1. That was my first step. My second step, I elongated my line. I wrote dozen because that's what I want. Third step, I wrote my conversion. And I'm using that conversion to do my step 4. What I want, which is 1 dozen, goes over what I don't want anymore, which is 12 eggs. So everybody see where I got this 1 and 12 of? Yes? Okay. So then I go to step 5. Step 5, cancel like units. Well, in this, my units are eggs, dozens. If I have eggs at the top and I have eggs at the bottom, eggs over eggs. Eggs divided by eggs. Okay? Think in math. If I have 5 divided by 5, what does that equal? So basically, don't 5's cancel? Okay? If I x divided by x, what is that? X divided by x? 1. Don't the x's cancel? Right? So, if I have eggs divided by eggs, don't they cancel? So I'm left with 1. So you're able to cancel these because this over this gives you 1. Okay? Is 1 times anything is just itself, right? Okay. So any questions of this part? Now, when I cancel these, can I cancel dozen also? I can cancel dozen? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. I canceled eggs because I have 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom, right? Can I cancel dozen? No, because do I have dozen at the bottom? No. So I can't cancel it. It's still there. Alright, step 6, and the last step. Multiply, cross, and then divide. So here I had my first step, 138 eggs over 1. That was my first step. My second step, I wrote dozen. My third step, I had my conversion, and used my conversion for my next step, which is winners over losers, 1 over 12 eggs. I canceled eggs. Now I'm on my last step. Multiply, cross. 138 times 1 dozen is 138 dozen. 1 times 12 is 12. In math, when I have a number over another number, what does this line mean? Divide. So 138 divided by 12 gives me 11.5 dozen. So, obviously, in this question, Levi's way of doing it was so much easier. You just take 138 divided by 12. But isn't that what we ended up doing at the end anyways?
Yes.
Yes. The only difference is I went through and showed you step by step because this is an easy question. You're just having to convert from one to another, and it's very quick. In just a second, we're going to do some where you have to convert several times until you get to the right answer. So you have several steps. So, up to this point, any questions on just the steps? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a paper that we're going to do a couple of them together, and then you're going to have some time to work with your elbow partner to practice this. This paper is using units that you know, such as time units and distance units. You will be working on these either on this paper, or you can work them out on page 24 of your notebook. So there are 2 ways to do this. On page 24, you can actually just answer these on 24, or you can answer them on this page and take this page into page 24. Now, everybody should have a calculator on your table, or if you'd like to, you'd rather use your phone, you can use your phone for the calculator function.
Can I
here, move on. Alright, so, page 24, you can either, once again, write the answers to these on page 24, or write them on here and then you can tape it in there. So, looking at these, we're going to practice 2 of them together, and then you'll do the rest on your own. Now, this is like math. I know I'm using a pen, but I'm using a pen because if I write in pencil, you can't see it. Okay? In my opinion, you probably should work these out in pencil because it is a math problem. Alright, so we're going to do number 2. If you look, I've already given you some guides. And looking at this, how many steps do you think we're going to have?
2. Oh. 4.
How many? 4. Now, will I do that for every question? No, I'm doing it right now because we're practicing. Okay? So, if you look at this, I have 25 years equals how many minutes? So what is my first step that you're supposed to do? Look at your notes. What's step 1? Write down what you know and put it over 1. So what do I know in this question?
25 years.
Okay, so I'm going to put 25 years over 1. Alright, what's step 2?
Write down
So,
what you need.
write down what you need and want. What do I need and want?
Minutes.
Minutes. Now, obviously, I'm not going to write them here because I know that it's going to be what I end up with, right? So I'm going to write it all the way to the end. Minutes. Okay, step 3.
So decide which conversion you need.
So I need to decide which conversions I need. So I know that I need to get from years to minutes. So what are some of the things that I know about years? Okay, so 1 year, I'm going to write these down. Okay, 1 year is equal to 365 days. Okay, I know that. What else do I know? 1 day is 24 hours. Okay. 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. And do I need to go any lower than that? No, because isn't that what I want anyways?
Yes.
Yeah. So looking at these, I know I can go from year to day, right? I can go from day to hour. I can go from hour to minutes, and that's what I want. So I think I'm good. I think I have what I need, right? All right. So now it's step 4. What I don't want goes where? On the bottom. So I'm right here. So what do I not want is years, right? So which of these am I going to use? The first one, the second one, the third one. The first one? 1 year equals 365 days? Okay, so I'm going to use this one. So which one of those 2 do I not want anymore? The year. So that one goes at the bottom?
Yes.
So out of those 2, I want days. So that goes at the top. 365 days. Okay, can I stop right there?
No.
Because I need to get to minutes, right? So now I need to get rid of days. So which one am I going to use now?
1 day equals 24 hours.
1 day equals 24 hours. So out of those 2, which one do I not want anymore? Day. So that's at the bottom. And I want 24 hours at the top. Okay, can I stop right there?
No.
Nope. Okay, so now I have 24 hours at the top. So now I need to use this one. So what do I want to get rid of?
1 hour.
So that's at the bottom. And what do I want?
60 minutes.
So that's at the top. So now I have it all filled in. So what is my next step? What's step 5? Okay, cancel like units. So what units do I have that are like that I can cancel?
The hour.
Okay, hour. I have hour here, okay?
The year.
The year. Year here, year here.
Year.
Day. Day here, day here. Can I cancel minutes? Nope. Okay, and isn't that what I want anyways? That's why I can't cancel, because that's my answer. Alright, so now what is the last step? Step 6.
To multiply across and divide.
Okay, multiply across. You all have the calculator, so will you do me a favor? You're gonna multiply across. 25 times 365 times 24 times 60. What would that be? Yes, Brianna.
I think that the battery's on.
You're gonna have to share them. I don't have time to change batteries right now. Yes. 13 million, 140,000. Okay, so 13,140,000 what?
Minutes?
Minutes, very good. Over, well, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 gives me 1. So do I have to divide anything there?
No.
So my answer is 13,140,000 minutes. Any questions over that one? So we're gonna do one more, then you're gonna do it on your own, or with your partner. Turn off the phones, or the text messaging or something, whatever you're using. Alright, don't text. Alright, so we're doing number 6. Unless you're saying how awesome my class is. Okay, number 6. Real quick, I need to correct something. Down here it says 3 feet equals 1 mile. This should not be a mile, obviously. It's 3 feet equals 1 yard. Okay, so make that correction so you don't mess that up. Okay, so here I'm on 6. 4,231,450 inches equals how many miles? So what is my first step again? Okay, so I'm gonna write that number down. That's the number. Inches over 1. Okay? And now?
Write down what you need.
Okay, so what do I need? What do I need? I need miles. Okay? Okay, then? Okay, so what conversions I need? So if I look down here, I know I'm going from inches to miles, right? So is there anything on here that includes inches or includes miles? So I have 12 inches equals 1 foot, so that might help, right? So I'm gonna write that down. 12 inches equals 1 foot. Anything else that might help me? So 5,280 feet equals 1 mile. Is that it, or do I need something else? If you don't know, check. I know I need to go from inches to miles, right? So inches. Well, I know I can go from inches to feet, right? Then do I have feet to mile? So do I need anything more? Okay. Okie doke. So now what do I do? What I don't want. So what do I not want anymore? The inches. So here I'm using this one. 12 inches. And what goes at the top? 1 foot. Okay. Now? Am I done? So where am I going to write the 1 mile? Top to bottom. Do I want mile, or do I want to get rid of mile? I want it. So if I want it, I want to write it top. Okay? And then what would go at the bottom? 5,280 feet. Okay? Now what do I do? Cancel. So what can I cancel? Inches, feet. Okay? So and my last step is? Multiply across. So 4 million, blah, 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 times 1 times 1 is 4,231,450 miles over, and you go 1 times 12 times 5,280. What is it? 63,360. Okay? And then you have to multiply, you're multiplying across, so 1 times 12 times 50, 280 gives you that. Okay? Because just like you multiply across at the top, you have to multiply across at the bottom. Okay? Alright, so once I have those, what does this line represent again? Division. So can somebody divide that for me?
That's 68, 2047.
68.20? Yes? So we're doing 6, that doesn't sound like the one I got first. Okay, so check your numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so 66.78? Alright, so that's my answer, 66.78 miles. Guys, when you're working on these, just round to the nearest hundredth place, so 2 decimal places. Okay? So, any questions? Alright, so what I want is I want you and your elbow partner, so the person that's sitting beside you, and you can join a group, so you'll be a group of 3, or unless you want to work on yourself, by yourself, it's up to you. You want to work on these together, okay? You can, once again, either work them out on here, on this page, and then on page 24 of your notebook, take this in, or you can just work them on this page straight off of there. It's up to you how you want to do it. Alright, any questions? Okay, go ahead and get to work. While you're doing that, I'm going to come around and stamp your page 18, which is your density lab, and your page 22 and 23, which is your crime scene analysis, which I know they're probably not completely finished, but I want to see that you probably did most of it yesterday. Okay, questions? Alright, go ahead and get started. Yes, you can use your phone if you want to use your phone.